Hello everyone, my name is Manas. I am a senior full stack developer in Paddleboard. It's a startup based in HSL layout, Bangalore. So this is my first presentation in the tech. Before coming to this presentation, I want to say my some background. I am a mechanical engineer before, by education. And in pandemic situation, I thought I want to switch in the IT career. So I learned the React JS and all these backend and front end, and that's after the 2020, I'm starting this career as a full stack development. So, so today I'm going to talk about the topic is about building a progressive web application using the React. So basically, this is an interesting topic. Maybe you guys have known about the topic or not, I don't know. But yeah, I will show the live coding. Not live coding means how it is working exactly, and the code base also, and how you can write about the code, how the things the under the hood, the backend is working. So here the content what I'm going to talk about was first was understanding about the PWA, progressive web application, and second about the implementing of progressive web application with the React.js, and third was leveraging of service worker. The about the progressive web application, all the main backbone of this progressive web application was service worker. So each and everything, whatever the code you are going to write inside the progressive web application to convert it into the PWA, that is main behind the service worker. So we learn about that, how to write the code. And fourth point was how to register into your browser by using the code. You will gonna learn. And fifth point was like how to case, we are getting the pages. So about the React.js is all about like we are having different type of routing things. So every routing page we have to cache it during the unavailability of network. We will gonna discuss and about the all the techniques about that and how we will enable the push notification services here. So uh, first of all, we have to understand about the what is PWA. So basically, PWA is a very means it is a web application only, but we are going to just add on the additional power for that. So what are those additional power we are gonna give to the PWA application so that it will be convert the normal web application into the PWA application. So basically here the definition is called as like here it is just treating like a native apps. When you convert your normal web application into a PWA, you can run it on your desktop and it will looking like a desktop application, as well as if you responsiveness design for the mobile, it will looking like an Android application also. So that is what the meaning of. And here some key feature is like offline functionality. This is the main key feature of web application. If you're running a normal web application, you know that you can't run when internet goes off. Okay, but if you convert that web application into the PWA, you can run that web application with offline mode also. All the data can be fetching from the cache also. And the third point was like, you can give the push notification and fast loading also. Like some of the our speaker have explained about how can decrease our time consuming processing time and all. So using this technique also we can consume, means we can improve our UX point of view so that user in the low network connection, like in the village area also use that whole application by easily without less internet connection. And there is a lots of benefits like having accessibility, discoverability, and all experience. Like accessibility, like for building a web application, you do not need to think about whether they are gonna use the mobile or any desktop. But in this progressive web application, you should have to take consideration about responsiveness design of all of the devices like tablet, mobile, small to big size, and even laptop also. There is different type of configuration having like resolution depend upon. If you design your application with 4K and your font should be not improved according to the 4K screen, your website will looking very ugly. So you should have to take consideration about the responsiveness here also. So here about the normal how React.js will work. I'm not going to explain about the React.js because you guys are from the React, or maybe about the aware about that, how the React. So mostly about that the main feature of the React is virtual DOM. So we are not gonna directly render whole component each and every time. We are just adding the particular section which is gonna update it, and rest of the part of the DOM will be same only. So this is the main key feature. And here some of the benefit of PWA was like why we gonna use the React.js only to build an PWA application. This is the most important topic that you should have to understood, because the React having the lots of state management systems and all of the techniques we can use to build an application. So those React techniques can be used to build an PWA. That's why the React is the most powerful library we can gonna use for building a PWA application. So this is the some optimization performance and user experience and setting out all. So here, the progressive application having some key feature. The most important thing what we can achieve through the React.js application for the building and progressive web application was, this is called a responsiveness design. So nowadays, guys, much more aware about the styled component and all about the SaaS things. So all styled component NPM package can be used inside the React.js. Okay, so we can build our application for the responsiveness by writing the code inside a styled component and wrap it over our component so that our component will be responsive whatever the device can be usable. Like before, when these techniques are not there, we are using the media queries on all things to handle it. But these responsiveness designs are like improved by the React.js, and lots of NPM packages came. So we are gonna using React for this purpose to achieve the PWA applications. And second one is accessibility, and third one is the offline functionality. So using the React and some JavaScript function scripts, we can gonna offline functionality using the cache techniques. How you cache all the pages, their data, whatever the data coming from the APIs, we gonna store for the local storage. During the network unavailability, we show to the user that the network is not there. These are the pre data which already fetched. So you can use that to know about the application. So your application will not looking ugly during unavailability of the network. And here is three more key points was push notification. Like, what is a push notification? You guys are aware about, like, in the Facebook web application, when you open a Facebook and someone message it, so some notification will come on the browser. So that can be enabled through this, this service worker file. And last one, up to date in the background, and can use the GPS and all about the hardware thing also we can use through this PW application also. So here the backbone of the PW application was service worker.js. So basically, what is that service worker? It is just a normal JavaScript file which is run behind the browser thread. Okay, so basically, when the browser is running, there is a V8 engine where the console logging and all the script files and component has been rendered, and there all the JavaScript file has been written, will be a console logging or whatever the function you want to do. But this service worker file, which is inside your public folder, that will be running behind this thread. So whatever the processing, pre-fetching, caching, and all will be handled by this service worker. That is why this is the main purpose of we have to write the code inside the service worker file to build a product of PWA. So here, there's some role and functionality of the service worker was like they have caching techniques and push notification services we can enable using this service worker file. So already we will gonna see live that how the push notification will work and how we can cache the data from the service and all the pages, whatever their availability in the React application. So the main optimization, like, whenever you are building a progressive web application, the most three things you should have to consider in your mind. That is, first one is network resilience. Means there is a let us suppose some area having less internet and more some area having high internet. So we don't know that which area the user is gonna use your application. So for that purpose, we have to write your code in that way that all the build file and cache file will be properly rendered on the application when network availability is less or zero. And second one is the performance enhancement. So what the achievement after service worker is gonna do was your application will be gonna more powerful. Like you can use it very fastly. All the processes, event clicking, and all the data fetching are very speedily happening after this. And other technique also you can use to, like, lazy loading, whatever the last talk has been discussed about that. And third one is the security consideration. So what is the meaning of that was like you are going to cache the all the data inside the local storage as well as the cache. So whatever happening, if you have some credential or some important data which is gonna leak or some hacker gonna use those data, so you have to take into consideration in your mind was that those data should not be faced by other people. So you have to encrypt it properly during writing the service worker. So these are the three major key points when you are writing an PWA application for your web application. So here some gonna strength and weakness for this service worker file and as well as the PW application was. So here strength was like offline support, push notification and improve the performance of your application. But weakness was like, there is some browser compatibility issue. Let us suppose somebody are using Mozilla Firefox, somebody are using Google Chrome and somebody are using that other browser. So basically whatever the code we are going to write here, some code, JavaScript having some own object properties. So we are gonna use navigator, we are gonna use set interval and all our those functions. So some browser are not supported those function or they are deprecated those function. So you should have to understood, and during the testing of your application, you should have to understood that what are the function which you gonna not use in other browser. So that time you have to take consideration for the different type of browser. And third one is the opportunities. Like here this application having different type of opportunity to enhance your application by writing the different type of codes in the different type of browser. And fourth one is the threats. So basically I already told you that there is a privacy implication and misuse of malicious data purposes. Like other hackers will come to cache your theft your data from your browser. So you have to take consideration. So these are the some issues for the writing of a PWA application. But apart from that, the YouTube is also using this PWA application. You can see, I will show you how they are using. So let's jump into the code. I'm not taking the time of you guys because it's gonna late very. So I will step by step procedure. I will explain you how your React application will work and how you can create your PWA normal web application into PWA application. So before going to discuss about this code, I will show you some direct code. So when you know that how to create a your React application by using whether it is a Next.js application or whether it is a React application, you are going to use the npx command, npx create React app, and whatever the thing. So this is the structure basically you will gonna get during first initial commit. So in that time, what they're initially before they are giving an service worker file, but right now they removed that because some they understood that some organization or most of the people are not going to use for the making that PW application. Those who want their use cases, they only want to make their completely building their application into PWA. So what you have to do was after making this, you have to create two files. The first file inside a SRC folder that is called as dev.js, and the most important file which is going to render inside the browser, that is inside the public folder, that is called as hw.js. So this is the naming conversion also important. You can't give the another name, but yeah, you can give it, but this is the main module you have to create it, and this is the structure of your code. So then we come back to the slide. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So this is the two step you have to register, means how to register your first service worker file inside your browser. The first step was here, I'm making a function which is swdev. Why I'm making the swdev? Whatever the code, your condition, your business related, whatever the condition you are gonna write, those are being written inside the swdev. And all the basic like caching things, whatever the page which is gonna constant all over the applications, that are gonna write inside the sw.js. So here I am writing some of the function, basic function. This is a function of service worker where I am importing the sw file here, and through navigator.serviceworker.register, I am registering that function inside the browser application. So now I'm gonna show you how it's register. Uh, Sorry. So basically you can see here is an index file which is already been made here inside your application. So what I am gonna use was I import that file from the SW dev, and here I am just calling that main your React application the main index file and calling this service worker dev. So what he's gonna do was he is going to register using this function. So the function is written inside the SW dev. So first off, the basic procedure was here I'm gonna register here through this function dot register. So now 1 minute. Yeah. So I have not added any CSS to this function. So basically what is here, I have made a normal basic for understanding how the JavaScript file is working and how the service worker is working here. So I have made some routing, navigation type. You can just ignore the CSS. I have not added any CSS. So here is the home page. Here is the about us page. And here is the contact page. And here is the some post page. So in this post page, what I'm using as I'm using some JSON placeholder APIs to get the data from the any third party APIs. So I will show you how the service worker has been registered here. So you can see the service worker file here inside the folder of service worker. You go to the application, you go to the service worker, you can see the service worker file has been registered here. So the registration process has been completed through the dot register function. Now what the process was, the most important thing in this application was you have to cache all the pages. Like how many pages here? One is a normal home page, about us page, contact page, and as well as the post page. So these 4 pages you have to cache it inside your cache storage. So for that purpose, I will show you the code. If you go to the SW file, I told you the sw.js, which is inside your public JS folder. Here, the most important code, which is not gonna change every day. That only you have to write it inside this application. So here I have added a function that is called self, which is the recent object of the window. Here having some add event listener, and here this is the function where we are going to cache all the pages data. So we have to understand why I'm writing this main.chunk.js, 0.chunk and bundle.js and all other routing paths. Why? Because when you render your application in index.js in your browser, you can see these are the chunk file and bundle file you can see in the browser also in the network request. You want to see? I will show you. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So if you go network request and I refreshing this page, see, the bundle.js is there. What I'm gonna cache it all, because when you run your application in the local server also, that directly your application is not gonna render on the page. The JavaScript inside the background, the Babel RC, all processes happen. They're making a bundle, and that bundle is going to render on your application server. So here I'm gonna cache all the bundle.js, chunk.js, and other rest. You can cache all the assets also, whatever the asset you want to render during your network unavailability. So basically here you can see that, yeah. So I am caching the index.html file, which is the main file, and as well as the all the route. So this is the caching process has been done. So let us suppose I am going to comment out this code, and I will show you the difference between without fetching and only just caching. So what I'm gonna do was, now I'm just refreshing the, unregistering first of all this service worker first, because whenever you update your code, you have to unregister every time. So I'm unregistered and I am refreshing again to register this service worker file again. It is registered again. What I'm gonna do was, right now I'm giving to offline mode. Okay. So I'm giving this application to offline mode. So what happened right now was, how many of you can tell that whether this application will run or not? It will run. Why? I have already cached the file. You can see the file are cached. I will show you the code. Sorry, I have not shown that file is not cached. See, all the, I have given the name of PWA app, and all the whatever the paths given and bundle file, you can see all the file are cached. Here the slash, paths, ports, about, and contact, all are been cached. Okay. But when I refresh this page, since it is in offline mode, what happen you can see. 1 minute, I have not comment out this code. Where it's compiling. I don't know that why it's taking time. So I will go into the slide till now. So here we are. What we have do was, we have cached it, and we next our process was, without only just caching, but we are not going to fetch, then your application will not work. Means it will showing the failed of the network only. But after caching all the pages and all the bundle files, you have to fetch it using the fetch function, and inside that you have to write whatever the condition you want to give. So this is the most important part. If you do this fetch functions, then only your application will work in the offline mode. So let's see that, yeah, it's compiled. What I'm gonna do was, now I'm again going to unregister this service worker, and I'm reloading in the normal mode. So it will work now. I'm gonna home page. I will do in offline mode. I think this service worker has not been. Okay, okay. One thing, I have not deleted this cache actually. Sorry, sorry. Yeah. See what happened here? You are in offline mode and you are not able to get the data. Okay, so I have cached the data, but I have not fetched the data. For that purpose, the data is not rendering on the page. So what we have to do was, on that time, we have to uncomment this function again, and I am uncommenting this function again. So now our file is ready. It's compiled. Now I am again, deleting this cache file. Again, I am deleting this service worker file, unregistering, and I am removing this offline mode. Okay, fine. So now what happened? I have right now in the online mode. So what I'm gonna do was I am putting it to offline and then refreshing the page. See what happened. All the data is fetching, but from where it is fetching? From the cache. But I have written the code was if the anything will be failed inside your use effect of the fetch condition you have written through the some fetching of the API. I'm just written inside an cache function that if something is failing, so you get the data from your local storage. So during the network online conditions, I'm setting the data inside your local storage. You can see here. So these are the user data I am setting into the local storage, and during offline mode, I'm getting the data from the local storage. So this is the process here. Now I'm showing you how the push notification will work. So basically, the push notification will work in this way. Before that, I will explain you something like, let us suppose we want to run this application in your mobile application, and when during the building, how you can use your application to feels like a native app. So I will show you a difference between the progressive web application instead of normal web application. When you go to this in this area, you can see my arrow notation in this area. Sorry, here in this area, when you click it, sorry, see what is the difference between normal application and progressive web application. You can't get this option in the normal web application, but when you build, you can see this is the option. In the first time, you will get the option of install your application. So you can click it on the install, it will install on your home screen. This is the main difference between. So when I will show you something like I am deleting this application since it's a control panel. When you install it, it is going to your control panel application real time, like how you install other application, it will show like that only. So if you go to uninstall here, before I have tried, so that's why it's inside. So this is the PW application. I'm gonna remove this data as well as the all. So I have removed from my computer. So here, uh, yeah, I'm again enabling it to online mode. Okay. So if you click in this way, the symbol is changed. Now you can see what is the option coming? Install it. So when you install it, it is gonna install it in your storage. When you yes, you if you come to your home screen of your desktop, I'll show you. See here, option came as PWA app. So when you double click it, how your browser, how this app look like? There is no any search bar. It will feel like a normal application which is run behind like web application. So why we are going to learn about this? Because of like some people want to build a product for their company and they have less fund and less manpower. So to build an web application, again we have to hire an Android developer or Flutter developer to build an mobile application and giving all the money to them only. So what the remaining is there? So for that purpose, if you build an application, web application, convert according to different type of responsiveness for your different devices, and then convert it to like a native app, then it will be feels like you can make the money, because business is all about like making how the business module is there, not about the product what you're gonna launch inside your play store or whatever the things. Okay, so that's why for initial time you can build like this application for your purpose internal use. So this is the things, and now I will show you. Even I can show you if you want to show how the Android device also look like. I have installed for this only. I have installed and giving the lots of stress to my computer to just show you guys. Like, okay, I have installed the Android Studio. You know that the pain behind it, how to install it. Okay, and after that I'm gonna show you. So here, if you search in localhost 3000, here I will show you what happened. See, it will not work inside here. Why? Because our browser can access our IP address and it can understood the local host is equal to the IP, means whatever the IP address. But these Android, emulator don't understood your local host. What you have to do is you have to make your website configuration for the porting to port transfer from there to here. So I will show you how you can do as go to your Google Chrome and go to this step. I'm just showing you Chrome. Yeah, Chrome inspect devices. So here one option is this port forwarding. So what you have to do is you have to add your port. Here I have already added before 8080 and 3000. So basically 8080 is like different port. So already I have added, and you have to give it enable port forwarding. After this done, still it's not working. Why? Because in the browser, when you deploy your application to the production, your directly the code will not run on the production. What you have to do is npm run build. Do you know that command? So that build file only work on the production, not the normal npm start or npm run dev will work there. So what I am gonna do was here, I have already done. So after making the npm run build, you have to run your build file in your local system also. Like, you know how to run the build file? Anyone know command? Anyone know? Anyone know any how to run the build file? It is command is serve -s build. Okay, this is the command that will gonna run your build file, because build file is also okay. What is okay server, not serve. serve -s build. So what is gonna do? This is a serve is a npm application. You have to install it on your global to run every time your build to check that whether the build issue is there or not. Because when we gonna push to the live to the server, we have to build it our application also before that to know about that any issues there in the build file or not. Because sometimes the person who are not the person who are using the TypeScript, there is lots of type errors are there. So the developers are gonna push into the GitHub and they don't build before. So when they're going to merge into production, the production got failed because they not build the file properly because of lots of type issue or other issue will be there. So see here, they serve the local host and their network is, this is the new port they given. So what I'm gonna use was, I'm using this port. Maybe, how can I? So this port is also the same. I am copying this port. I am testing inside my Android application. I am Android emulator, sorry. This is super slow. Because of this only I am getting slow actually. Is this the 10.45? Yeah, this is the link copied I have. So if you click it, see, now your Android can access your application. Okay. So here you can see all the data here, post, patch, about. Post is not fetching. What happened to the post? So okay, there is some backend or API issue. Yeah, it's fetched. Sorry for that network delay. So here one more option is there. I have added the port forwarding. So what is happening when you add it to the home screen? Here option also same coming to feels like a native app. So you can see here, it is a browser. Just giving the some server link so that we can open this web application. But when you add it to the home screen, so it will look like this. Okay, when you click it, it is gonna add into your home screen and feels like it's an application where what you have downloaded from the Play Store. So I'm gonna show you how it will look also. Yeah. So let us, I'm opening. See, there is no any browser type input field is there. So it will looks like, normal application. So the last, not the least, the key point I am gonna discuss with you guys was push notification. How to enable your progressive web application with push notification. How you can write the code to give some configure during the online offline mode. How you can give the notification to the user that you are in offline mode. The data which are coming not from the direct API which are being pre-fetched. You have to show it something important message during the condition. So what you have to do was, so this is the part I'm gonna explain you. This is the fundamental behind this notification. First of all, you have to give the, there is an option in the information button inside your browser. You have to give the access also for that notification, because every browser when you open it, they give you some information about will you want to allow us to give the notification or not. Okay, so after giving the notification allowance, the data from the server fetching and giving to the server, and then server will decide, this service worker file will decide and send the notification to your web page. This is the concept behind it. And if you go to the file here, this is the code where the push notification will work. So before going to this, I will show you the dev how to enable this push notification. So if you directly giving the notification message from your server, front end server, it will, anybody can give the notification through the command line also. So what are you gonna check here was, JWT token. What are you gonna do during the login of your some credential you have take? After credential taking, you are getting in the backend and validate that whether this validation are fine or not. After that, they will return an JWT token, JSON web token, and that token contains the user data. That user data will be fetching and understanding how it will work, and this is the token for your local server. So every time whenever you are creating a server, you have to giving this BHAPI public key. So this BHAPI public key will validate whether this is the actually notification we have to enable for this server or not, that gonna use. After that, this is the basic URL encoding part, where this string will be encoded and decoded to understand that whether this is the server key or not. And this key will, I am directly adding here, but you can edit to your env files or somewhere you can store it. Okay, because these are the encrypted important file, you can't give directly inside your JavaScript file. And here, this is the main function here. So this is a function which return a promise. So every time promise, you have to resolve it, right? You know about the asynchronous process about the promise inside of JavaScript. So here, this navigator.service worker.register inside, this promise having some response. This response again having some push manager function. So this push manager having some subscription, you have to start your subscription, call this function. And this is also a promise, we have to resolve it inside a function. And this response is a push manager dot subscribe. And here user visibility means you have to show your user in the notification the down and bottom. You can configure it by showing the documentation. And here application server key. This is the most important thing. You can't, without this, you can't enable the push notification. When you enable it, and then you can go to the here, and you have to, here I have written the code was, if you not giving this online, every time the notification will come unlimited times. You can't stop it, and the user will be gonna mad. So that's why this self.navigator.online condition, when the user is not online, this is the condition. And after that, I'm just checking a one bundle file. Like if it is not the user is online, I am checking one bundle file. According to that, I'm giving some custom notification was internet issue, don't worry, and the loading files from the cache. Okay, so I'm showing you how it will work. So here, Here already maybe service. This is not. Sorry, it will not work. I am again starting my server back. Well, this is a bundle file. Since it is running from the bundle file, means your build file, it will not work whatever the code you have written inside it. So I have to again restart my local server to show you the notification. So I'm gonna close this actually Android Studio because this will slow my system. So this is the last point. After that, my talk is over. Any doubt regarding this? Yeah.
So you have created different service worker file for push notification and this offline part, or same file you are doing? There are two separate files you have created for service worker. One file can cater a purpose of push notification and another file will cater the offline support. Is that okay?
So I have created two service worker file, one inside the public folder and one inside your SRC folder. The SRC folder code are all about your business logic you gonna write inside it. And the code what is constant, like caching the pages and all, which is gonna public inside the public folder. Got it? Whether it in notification also you can write inside your SRC folder file also. So, okay, fine. So here is the, I will show you how the push notification will work. So basically service worker has been registered. Our cache file has been also, yeah, cache also register. Everything is there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm fetching the data from the post and after that I'm making the app offline. And now I'm gonna hit this. What happened to see that? See, some notification will come in the back down. Can you see that? When you open it, maybe there is 7 notification came before. You can see there is internet issue. Don't worry. The loading files from the cache. How can you show that whether this file from cache or not? You can go to the network request. And so the data which are fetching from the network, you can see here, the data here these are the file from the SW. So if you go to the any page like post page or home page, manifest JSON, you can see here they try to fetch from normal page. When they're not gonna find, they again try to see that whether this is from fetch or this is from the service worker. So I will show you again. So they try to fetch, but they are not getting the fetch. All the data has been not loaded because of internet issue, and now still the application is working, but here one message coming, you are in offline mode or some issue with the connection. So this is the topic which I have gonna cover. And last some key point I will tell you what are the case, like which application, like which what are the application those are running in by using this PWA. That is, first is the Twitter Lite. So what their case study was, in the Twitter Lite you can see a PW sorry. So they reduce the data use. So for that purpose, they build a Twitter Lite using this PWA application. Second one is the Flipkart. So after making the PWA application of the Flipkart, they getting the 70% increase in the conversion after launching its PWA. Got it? And third is the Forbes also, there 43% increase in the session per user. And I will show you a demo of YouTube also. If you go to YouTube, even YouTube also using the service worker file. You can see inside the YouTube browser, they're using service worker and they're using cache storage, and they're having all the pages, all the rendering and all. If I do here also the same procedure by making So checking offline mode. Okay. So during offline mode, these data will not come because these are the coming from the recent, YouTube videos. So when you gonna refresh this page, what you have to see, there is an internet connection, but here is no data, but still the data has been rendering on the page. It's not failing actually. Okay, they are showing some part, and if you have subscribed some channel also, I have not subscribed any channel in this Gmail. uh, those the data which already been previously constant, they are gonna showing those data only catching it, because we are not gonna cache all the data, only caching the important data which is gonna use every time to the user to show that. So this is my last slide, maybe. Yeah, thank you. So this is the QR code. You can scan it, all the PPT, and as well as the GitHub code is there inside this QR code. And this is my LinkedIn profile. You can scan it to connect anything. So any queries?